Hey, what's up guys, it's Guy coming at you with another knife review. Today we're going to be looking at the Civilware pointer. For those of you that haven't heard of Civilware before, it is a company that was started by Jeff Rowley. Now, Jeff Rowley is actually a professional skateboarder from England. He was voted the Skater of the Year by Thrasher magazine in 2000, so he's actually pretty big in the skating community. He is also a big wildlife conservationist, an avid hunter, and an outdoor enthusiast in general. He started a company called Civilware, and they sell various outdoor gear, including knives, I think some hatchets, and some other stuff. So, without further ado, this is the Civilware pointer friction folder. The overall length is going to be 5.25 inches, so pretty small. The blade length is going to be 2.25 inches, and that's going to be CPM S35 VN for the blade. So that's a pretty solid blade steel. Holds an edge really well. I really like S35 VN. And like I said, the blade is only 2.25 inches. So this is going to make it legal in a lot of places. Like I said, he grew up in England, so this knife is going to be legal in the UK and plenty of other countries that have stricter knife restrictions. And that's going to be because it doesn't have a locking mechanism either. It is a friction folder. So the way it works is you push it up like that with the tang, and you holding your thumb down on it actually keeps it from closing. So back to the specifications. Like I said, 2.25 inch blade with a 2.125 inch cutting edge. The thickness behind the edge here is actually going to be 0.13 inches, which I like. It's kind of stout. It's got a pretty decent thickness here, despite being such a small knife. The handle is made of G10. This one is an OD grain. It's 3 inches long for the handle, and the thickness between the scales here, this is going to be 0.4 inches overall on the thickness here. So a little bit less than half an inch. Now, let's go ahead and do some size comparisons real quick. So first up, I'm going to compare it to the Para 3 Lightweight. This is going to be the Blade HQ edition, limited edition in M4 steel. As you can see, it's pretty well worn. Got a good bit of patina, but yeah, it's a good bit bigger. Next, I'll compare it to the QSP Penguin. As you can see, QSP Penguin is also a decent bit bigger. Just had a fly go through there. And next, we'll compare it to a knife that just about everyone has handled before, Victorinox SD. Oh, dropped it. Alright, so obviously Victorinox SD is still a good bit smaller than it. So, let's go ahead and look at the sheath first. Sheath, nothing too nice. A little cheap. It's scratched pretty easily right there, and there's some scratches on the back here. I don't know how well the camera's picking that up. But it does retain the knife pretty well. I mean, if you stick the knife in there, shake it around. Oh, knife's not going anywhere. So, that's all nice. I went ahead and added this, so I put a little hole in the sheath and I added a piece of paracord around it. The reason I did that is so if you're keeping the knife in your pocket just like this, then you can't really get it out one-handed. I mean, sure, you can, in theory, pull it out with one hand, right? And you can kind of just go ahead and shimmy it on out and then drop your sheath, but, you know, I don't really like that. So what I usually do is I'll put it in here, and then I will actually loop it around one of my belt loops. That way I can just pull on the knife and it'll come out and the sheath will stay attached to my belt loop. Even then, I don't love this sheath too much. It adds a decent bit to the carry profile, so I actually went ahead and made a sheath myself for it. This is how I usually carry the knife. Usually I do have the paracord wrapped around there, and I put it around my belt loop. But yeah, I'm going to review it, of course, with the sheath that it actually came with. So now let's go ahead and look at the knife itself. Like I said, this is a friction folder. So right here we have it's pretty much, you can use it as a pry bar. It also works as a flathead screwdriver, and of course a bottle opener. So what this does is you can go ahead and very easily open it with one hand. A lot of the time I'll also just go ahead and open it against a surface. I'll just pull it out real quick and go like that against my leg or whatever other surface might be near me. So it's pretty easy to get out one-handed, or to open and close one-handed, and it's easy to get out one-handed as long as you attach it to your belt loop, or to your belt, like I said. So right here you can see there's some branding on the actual blade. You can see the Civilware logo, and on the other side you've got some stuff here. It says ATB, that's kind of the slogan, all the best. You see manufacturing date, this one was manufactured in 2018. Alright, now let's go over what do I like about the knife. This knife slices very well. It is a flat grind, so it's really good for things like cutting boxes and food prep. I also like that the knife is really non-intimidating. This is a knife you can pull out in the lunchroom, you can cut up your fruit, and no one's going to be like, oh my god, he's got a knife. You know, it's a very non-intimidating knife, especially when you've got it in the sheath. So that's one of the big reasons I got it, because at the time I was working customer service in an office setting and I couldn't be walking around with some big scary folder. So that being said, I actually ended up using the pry bar at work more than anything. I would use it to get out staples a lot, and I would use it to scrape tape a lot. So the pry bar really came in handy a lot, even more than the knife itself actually came in handy. So I actually really enjoyed that. Nowadays, it doesn't really matter what knife I carry to work, so this knife has kind of just become my drinking knife, honestly. Good for shotgunning, good for opening up your Modelos, and then, like I said, nice slicey blade. It's really good for cutting up limes and stuff, so I do really like it for that. On top of that, it's also good, I'll use it for fishing sometimes, because like I said, there's no liners in here, so it makes it pretty easy to clean this knife, as opposed to a knife that would have liners. Another thing I really like is that despite being a linerless knife, you don't really have any flex here. Compare it to something like the Para 3 lightweight. There is a decent amount of flex there on the FRN, and everyone knows the Benchmade bug out has a ton of flex. So that is pretty nice to see that despite being linerless, there is not much flex here. I also like, so the hardware is said to be both titanium and stainless steel. I am not 100% sure what is what. I am assuming that the screws are going to be the stainless steel, and that the back spacers here are going to be the titanium parts, but again, I am not 100% sure on that. What do I not like? Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of satin finishes like this. Like I said, I'll often carry it attached to my belt loop, so I've actually had times when I'm driving and it kind of hit the sun and it was like real bright in my eyes. It was reflecting off the knife into my eyes, and I know that sounds a little silly, but it has happened a couple times. Other than that, there isn't too much I don't like about the knife. It's very lightweight. It came razor sharp, probably sharper than any knife I've gotten out of the box, honestly, including my Spydercos. I would say that it came sharper than my Para 3 lightweight. One thing about it is that you are not going to be getting a full 4-finger grip. Well, at least I don't. If you have smaller hands, hey, you might be able to. But like I've said in other videos, I'm 6'3", I'm 230 pounds. I've got big hands. So I'm not able to get a full 4-finger grip on here. That being said, though, what you can do is you can take the sheath that it came with, and you can simply slip it into the sheath like this. And now you can go ahead and you can grip it with all 4 fingers, and this is really comfortable. This also stops the knife from being able to close. This makes it really comfortable, gives me a 4-finger grip, but I can cut all day long like this. So honestly, I really don't have much to complain with this knife. One thing I will say, the G10 started fading pretty fast on this knife. It started fading and turning white. Once I oiled it up, I restored the color 100% and I didn't have any problems after that. But that's just something to mention. Now let's talk about the price. This is kind of interesting. So the knife used to cost $115. It has been on sale for $57.50 for quite a while now. I think that is just going to be the new price that they're selling it at. I don't think that they're really going to raise it back up to the $115 that it used to be sold at. So for $57.50, I can definitely recommend this knife. That is the price I bought it at. If you look on Blade HQ and you look at their cheapest offerings with both G10 and S35VN, you'll see that the cheapest folding knife on there with those same materials is going to run you, I think it was $62 when I checked. And like I said, this is coming in at $57.50, so that's a couple bucks cheaper. This is very fair at $57, right? At $115, I definitely don't think I could recommend it, right? $115 for $7 more, I bought this, right? Para 3 lightweight, and I do not think that there is a $7 difference between these two knives by any means. So honestly, I really don't think I can recommend this knife at $115. However, at $57, I can definitely recommend it. Especially if you're looking for something lightweight, easy to clean, and non-intimidating. I really appreciate you guys watching my video today. If you guys enjoyed, I really hope you will like, comment, subscribe, and come back for more content. Have a great rest of your day, guys.